If you are planning to start PhD abroad, especially in fall 2027, then you should not wait till the application starts, because most of the universities including Stanford, MIT, all these will start their application in the month of September, October. But this is the right time when you should start preparing your application. A good and strong application needs time to be prepared, and you should not just wait that when the application will start, I will start applying at that time, because you need certain prerequisites before that, and that's what exactly I'm going to talk about in this particular video. I'm going to give you an entire timeline, a month wise, that in which month you need to prepare what, or what are the things which you need to prepare before you start applying for the actual application. So let's dig into it in detail. And if you are new to this channel and if you haven't subscribed it already, please do consider subscribing it. So let's start with it. Now the first step is not just filling up the form or writing an email. The first step is to clearing it up, that what research area or what is your interest. Okay, so the first step is to clear up your research interest. This is very important because this is going to make sure that what topic you are going to talk about in the application, what you are going to write in your email, all these things will be clear only if you are clear about it, that what topic or what area of topic or what area you want to do research. Not only that, you also have to choose that which country you want to apply, because country wise things are going to change a little bit. And also you have to look upon that whether you are going to apply only to the application or specific applications which are advertised everywhere, or you are open to apply and write down emails to the professors. In that case you have to prepare emails as well. Now when I talk about research area, you don't have to keep it broad. You cannot just say that I want to do PhD in chemistry, or I want to do PhD in life sciences or biology or mathematics. Don't say like that. You have to be very specific about a particular topic. I have made a detailed video on how to select a research topic, or how to find, or how to understand that what should be your research area. So you can click on that video and watch that. Details are in that particular video. But over here I just want to emphasize that don't take a broad research area. Try to be specific. If you are a chemistry student, try to be specific what type of chemistry you want to do. You want to do synthesis, you want to go in nanomaterials, what type of research you want to do. And believe me, this is going to make your further steps like shortlisting universities, shortlisting professors, shortlisting labs, writing email, preparing your CV, all these things are going to become very easy once you decide what area of research you want to do. Now the next step is to prepare your profile. Okay, so next, within August and September, you should start preparing your profile. Now in preparing your profile, 2-3 things will come up. One is your CV, absolutely important. You have to update your CV. You have to include things in the CV. I have made a detailed video about CV, so you can watch that video, how to make the CV, what are essential part of it. I have discussed all those things in detail, so you can watch that over there. Second thing is your LinkedIn profile. Nowadays when you apply for any position, you need to have updated and good looking LinkedIn profile. Okay, because people search for you on LinkedIn, so that is very important. So prepare that as well. I haven't made a video on LinkedIn profile. Do let me know if you guys want a video. I can make a detailed video about that as well. Then if you have other profiles like Google Scholar, if you have published papers, you must be having a Google Scholar account, you must be having an ORCID account. So update those profiles as well. In case if you don't have any publication, these are not mandatory, but if you have them, please update them. If you have any paper which is in a preprint, please update it on your Google Scholar and ORCID as well, because when you will apply for a position, people are going to search for you, and this is nowadays very common. Okay, so you should be aware about it. The next thing is going to be done in the month of September. That is where you are going to shortlist universities and professor. Now it is very important that you look upon universities, and now the question comes up like how I will choose a university. A lot of students just Google it up that what are the top universities and they just apply in it. You don't have to do that. Okay, you have to be realistically aware that which universities you should lie on, or which universities you should apply, because not every time the top university is the best place for you. Of course top universities are good places, but then they are more competitive at the same time, right? So you have to keep in mind certain points when you are shortlisting a university. Okay, those points are your your research fit. Okay, so it should be your research fit. If you want to do a research in certain field, you want to do research, let's say in NMR spectroscopy, then that university should have an NMR facility. Okay, then the second thing is faculty members. You should look upon a university where there should be more than one faculty who are working in that particular field. If they only have one faculty, or if there is no faculty working in your area of research, they are not going to shortlist you. Okay, so there should be many people working in that particular or related field. Okay, then the third thing is look upon recent publications. Then you will get to see that, like, look upon the recent publications of those faculties. That will let you know that how frequently they are publishing, how productive their labs are. Then of course you should look upon that what are available infrastructure facilities in that particular universities, whether they match with your interest or not. Then you should look upon what are the application requirements of that university. Certain universities ask for GRE, certain don't ask for that, certain ask for TOEFL. So you should be aware about it in case if you are applying and you still have some time, so you can appear for those things. Or in case certain university require certain percentage of marks in your let's say in your masters or in your like early studies or in your academics. So you should be aware about it. Okay, so you should make a list of these things, like what are the important or what are these like requisite by these universities, and please make a Excel sheet of it. I am telling this and I am emphasizing it on it because it becomes very important that when you are making application or when you are applying for these positions, your like your data and your things should be very well organized. It will be very important at the later stage because you are not going to, like, you will not miss any lab and you are not going to apply for a certain position twice. So things will remain very streamlined if you make them in an organized way. You can divide your Excel sheet in 3 lists. Number 1 is highly competitive, those which are top tier universities. Then the second one is realistic universities where things are balanced, and then the safer options, those universities which are not in the top universities but they have certain things related to, like facilities and other things related to you. So make these 3 lists and apply in all these 3. That in that sense you will have a broader area of applications, you will have a broader area of labs, and then later on you can choose, pick and choose wherever you get selected or wherever you get shortlisted. You can choose, that will be your choice at the later stage, but at this time you should be applying in all these 3. Don't just apply on top ones. Okay, and very important thing, check that whether the PhD is fully funded or not, and mention that in your Excel sheet. This will give you a lot of a lot of peace of mind that yes, this place is giving a fully funded PhD. Now comes the next step, which is emailing or contacting professors. That you are going to do in the next September October month. That's the time when you are going to do these things. And now the question comes up that whether you should contact professor or not, when you should write an email, whether before making the application you should email professor or not. So in countries like Europe, UK, and European region countries, in most of these places it is important to contact professors because their PhD positions are mostly advertised as a research positions, and those are more kind of a job. So you have to contact the professor, you have to contact that particular person to get to know whether what type of situation they have, whether they have fundings and all the other things. So you should directly email professors over there. But when you're applying in countries like US, you don't have to directly email professor. Here the process are more streamlined through university portal. So you have to apply through the portal, and later on when you get shortlisted or something like that, in the later stage you can like email or contact professor. But like for European countries it becomes very important. Also if you are applying in countries like Japan or like Asian countries, in that case also you should email professors before the application itself. Email them, mention that you are interested in their lab. I have made a video on that as well, like how to write a cold email, so you can watch that video as well. Like these are all important videos where I have mentioned all the important things, what to mention in the email and related stuff. So you can watch that video where I have discussed how to write an email, which things are important to be mentioned in the email. So yeah, that will be a useful video for you. Next comes preparing your documents, and believe me, this sounds very simple, but when you will be applying, it is going to take a lot of time. So in the month of October, November, you are going to prepare your documents. All these universities, wherever you are applying, like before that, you need to have certain documents with you. You need to have your CV, you need to have your statement of purpose, you should be having your transcripts. Transcripts means you should be having your degree of your masters. If you are applying for PhD, you should be having degree of your bachelor's and masters at least. Okay, then your English language test score, in case that university asks for GRE or TOEFL, you should have that. If that is not asking, then this is optional. Okay, it depends on the university. And then your research proposal, if it is required. If the university asks for research proposal, then you have to prepare that as well. As I said, these things will be like earlier you have already written down or made an Excel sheet, like what are the documents required by the university. That Excel sheet is going to help you now. Okay, so prepare all these documents. Okay, if you want a detailed video on how to write a statement of purpose, I can make that. I think I have made it, but again, I'll make an updated video on how to write a good statement of purpose. So do let me know in the comments if you want that video. Not to forget, a very important thing is recommendation letter. Many places when you are applying for PhD, they will ask for recommendation letters as well. So be prepared with at least 3 recommendations. Like, make sure that you are in contact with 3 people and they have given an affirmative response to you that yes, they are ready to give a recommendation to you. So 3 people like minimum you should have. At some places, if it is asked, you can contact them and ask for recommendation letter. If not asked, then I think that will not be needed, but yeah, you should be prepared with that. Now comes November, December. That's the time when these universities will start popping up their applications. Some will pop up a little early, like in October as well. As I mentioned, some universities like MIT, Stanford, they will start in the late September itself. Because we have all the list of these in your Excel sheet, you will keep looking upon when is the deadline or when they have started making their application. So make sure that you start applying in the early days also already. Like, don't wait for the last date. Okay, next step will be in the month of January itself, where you will be preparing for your interviews, because for PhD positions you have to go through interview as well. Interview can be a like one-on-one interview, or it can be a panel based interview. So in the interview you will be asked about certain questions related to like what was your previous research, then your individual contribution to that research, then what project you have done, why you want to do a certain research in that institute, why you want to join a certain lab. All these questions can be asked. Again, I have made a detailed video on like questions related to interview, PhD interview, so you can watch that video as well. So this is going to be your timeline. Just I'm going to summarize everything. So in August you have to decide your research area and countries. In August and September you should start preparing your CV and your profile. In the month of September, October, you should shortlist universities and labs in which you are going to apply with all the things like all the details of that particular place. Then you have to start contacting professors in the month of October itself. October, November, you should start preparing your documents, your CV, your statement of purpose, your recommendation letter. All these things you have to prepare in the month of October, November. And then in the month of November, December, you have to start applying. You have to fill up the forms, you have to submit your applications, and that time will go in that itself. And then January onwards you have to prepare for interview. So this is going to be the timeline. I know it's hectic, I know it's overwhelming at a time, but if you will be, if you will be aware about it, if you will be pre-prepared of it, you can get through this. And don't hesitate in applying these places. Don't think like, how can I apply to MIT or Harvard or Stanford? These are like top universities. Don't underestimate yourself. You never know what destiny has in for you. So just apply, give your side, whatever you are doing, just give the best from your side and let the best happen to you. All right, so that's it from my side for this particular video. I hope that this was an informative video for you. I will try to make more videos in coming days. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.